Question 1. A project manager is leading a project to develop a new mobile application. During execution, a new government regulation is enacted that impacts data privacy requirements, necessitating changes to the application's architecture. What does this new regulation represent? A. An organizational process asset, OPA. B. An enterprise environmental factor, EEF. C. A project management information system, PMIS. D. A stakeholder register entry. Answer: B. An enterprise environmental factor, EEF. Enterprise environmental factors are conditions, not under the direct control of the project team, that influence, constrain, or direct the project. A new government regulation on data privacy is an external, uncontrollable factor that directly impacts the project's requirements and execution, making it a clear enterprise environmental factor. For instance, if a project building a bridge suddenly faces new environmental protection laws, those laws are EEFs. Always remember that EEFs are external or internal conditions that are given and not created by the project itself. Question 2. The project team has access to historical project files, lessons learned databases, and configuration management knowledge bases. These resources are crucial for planning future projects and provide valuable insights. What category do these resources fall under? A. Enterprise environmental factors, EEFs. B. Project management information system, PMIS. C. Organizational process assets, OPAs. D. Work performance data, WPD. Answer: C. Organizational process assets, OPAs. Organizational process assets are internal assets, such as plans, processes, policies, procedures, and knowledge bases, that are used by the performing organization and influence the project's success. Historical project files and lessons learned databases are prime examples, as they represent the organization's accumulated knowledge and best practices. Think of OPAs as the organization's playbook or institutional memory that helps project teams avoid past mistakes and leverage successful approaches. Utilizing OPAs effectively can significantly improve project efficiency and outcomes. Question 3. A large financial institution has adopted a matrix organizational structure for its projects. As a project manager within this structure, what is a common challenge you might face? A. Limited access to shared resources across functional departments. B. Direct control over all project team members and their performance reviews. C. Clear and unambiguous reporting lines for all project team members. D. Reporting to both a functional manager and a project manager. Answer: D. Reporting to both a functional manager and a project manager. In a matrix organizational structure, project team members typically report to two managers, a functional manager for their technical discipline and a project manager for their project assignments. This dual reporting relationship is a common characteristic and potential challenge in matrix organizations, as it can sometimes lead to conflicting priorities or resource allocation issues. Understanding this dual reporting structure is key to navigating communication and authority within such organizations. Question 4. A project manager discovers that the current project approach for developing a new pharmaceutical product does not fully comply with the latest industry regulatory standards. What should be the project manager's primary action? A. Ignore the discrepancy, as the standards might change again. B. Adjust the project schedule to accommodate non-compliance. C. Proactively engage with stakeholders to address compliance requirements. D. Proceed with the current approach and document the non-compliance. Answer: C. Proactively engage with stakeholders to address compliance requirements. Regulatory compliance is a critical aspect of the business environment, and failing to adhere to standards can lead to severe legal, financial, and reputational consequences. The project manager must proactively identify and address any compliance gaps by engaging relevant stakeholders, such as legal, quality assurance, and regulatory affairs departments, to ensure the project meets all necessary requirements. Neglecting compliance can derail a project completely, so it's always best to address it head-on. Question 5. The project sponsor is emphasizing that the project must deliver significant business value and tangible benefits to the organization. Which document would be most crucial for the project manager to refer to in order to ensure the project aligns with these expectations throughout its life cycle? A. Project Charter. B. Stakeholder Register. C. Project Benefits Management Plan. D. Risk Management Plan. Answer: C. Project Benefits Management Plan. The Project Benefits Management Plan describes how and when the benefits of the project will be delivered and measured, outlining the processes for creating, maximizing, and sustaining the benefits the project was undertaken to achieve. This plan is essential for linking project deliverables to the strategic objectives and ensuring the project's outputs translate into desired business value. For example, if a project aims to reduce operational costs, this plan would detail how those savings will be tracked and realized. Question 6. An organization's culture is highly collaborative and values open communication, even across different departments. How might this organizational culture typically impact a project manager's approach to stakeholder engagement? A. It would necessitate more formal and structured communication channels. B. It would make stakeholder identification less critical due to inherent trust. C. It would facilitate easier and more informal communication with stakeholders. D. It would primarily rely on top-down communication from senior management. Answer: C. It would facilitate easier and more informal communication with stakeholders. An organizational culture that values collaboration and open communication generally promotes a more transparent and accessible environment. This culture encourages project managers to engage with stakeholders through informal channels, fostering trust and enabling quicker decision-making. For instance, in such an environment, a project manager might comfortably approach a functional head for a quick chat instead of always scheduling a formal meeting. Understanding the cultural norms helps a project manager tailor communication and engagement strategies effectively. Question 7. A project manager is tasked with evaluating the impact of potential external market shifts, new technologies, and economic trends on an ongoing project. Which analytical tool or framework is commonly used for this type of external environmental scanning? A. SWOT analysis. B. PESTLE analysis. C. Critical path method. D. Earned value management. Answer: B. PESTLE analysis. PESTLE analysis is a strategic external scanning tool used to examine the political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental factors that may influence a project or organization. It helps in understanding the broader business environment and identifying potential opportunities or threats that could impact the project's success. For example, a tech company planning a new product might use PESTLE to assess how new data protection laws, legal, or changing consumer preferences, social, could affect its launch. Question 8. Before initiating a new project, an organization develops a formal document that describes the necessary information from a business standpoint to determine if the expected outcomes justify the required investment. What is this document called? A. Project Management Plan. B. Project Charter. C. Business Case. D. Benefits Management Plan. Answer: C. Business Case. The business case is a foundational document that captures the justification for a project, including a thorough analysis of the costs, benefits, risks, and alternatives. It explains why a project is needed and verifies that the investment aligns with strategic objectives, essentially answering the question, is this project worth doing? A well-prepared business case is crucial for obtaining project approval and ensures stakeholders understand the project's underlying value proposition. Question 9. In a projectized organization, what characteristic is most typical for a project manager? A. Limited authority over project resources. B. Primarily acting as a coordinator. C. High degree of authority and control over the project. D. Reporting directly to a functional manager. Answer: C. High degree of authority and control over the project. In a projectized organizational structure, the project manager typically has a high degree of authority and control over project resources and team members. Functional departments are usually either directly part of the project team or provide resources that are dedicated solely to the project. This structure empowers the project manager to make most project-related decisions independently, ensuring focused effort on project goals. Question 10. A project is facing unexpected delays due to a sudden increase in the cost of raw materials on the global market. This situation falls under which category of external influences? A. Social factors. B. Legal factors. C. Economic factors. D. Environmental factors. Answer: C. Economic factors. Economic factors pertain to the state of the economy, including inflation, interest rates, exchange rates, and the cost of raw materials. A sudden increase in raw material costs directly impacts the project's budget and procurement activities, making it an economic factor influencing the project. Project managers must monitor such economic indicators as part of their environmental scanning to anticipate and mitigate potential risks. Question 11. An organization implements a new policy that mandates all project documentation must be stored in a centralized, cloud-based system accessible to all project teams. This new policy is an example of what? A. Enterprise Environmental Factor, EEF. B. Organizational Process Asset, OPA. C. Project Management Information System, PMIS. D. Work Performance Information, WPI. Answer: B. Organizational Process Asset, OPA. An organizational policy, especially one related to how projects are managed or how information is handled within the organization, is considered an organizational process asset. OPAs are internal to the organization and guide project execution, providing standardized procedures and templates. This specific policy dictates a specific way of working with documentation, thereby falling under the category of OPAs that influence future projects. Question 12. A project manager is working on a construction project in a country with strict environmental protection laws. Failure to comply with these laws could result in significant fines and project cancellation. These laws are best categorized as what for the project? A. External stakeholder requirements. B. Enterprise environmental factors. C. Organizational process assets. D. Project governance structures. Answer: B. Enterprise environmental factors. Strict environmental protection laws are external conditions imposed by the government or regulatory bodies that the project team cannot control but must comply with. They are a classic example of enterprise environmental factors because they influence and constrain the project's choices and activities. These factors are part of the external business environment that a project manager must navigate to ensure project success and legal compliance. Question 13. A project's scope includes developing a sustainable product that minimizes environmental impact throughout its life cycle. This objective is directly aligned with the organization's corporate social responsibility (CSR) initiatives. This alignment exemplifies what aspect of the business environment? A. Regulatory compliance. B. Organizational culture and ethics. C. Technological advancements. D. Economic stability. Answer: B. Organizational culture and ethics. An organization's commitment to corporate social responsibility and sustainable practices is deeply embedded in its organizational culture and ethical guidelines. When a project's objectives are explicitly aligned with these broader organizational values, it demonstrates how the internal business environment, specifically culture and ethics, influences project direction and priorities. This alignment often leads to greater stakeholder support and a stronger project purpose. Question 14. A project manager is reviewing the project charter for a new initiative. Which element of the project charter typically links the project to the ongoing operations or strategic objectives of the organization? A. Project manager assigned and responsibility. B. Project purpose or justification. C. High-level risks. D. Pre-approved financial resources. Answer: B. Project purpose or justification. The project purpose or justification section of the project charter articulates the business need or strategic opportunity that the project addresses, directly linking it back to the organization's goals or ongoing operations. This element explains why the project is being undertaken and provides the underlying rationale for its existence. Understanding this link ensures the project remains relevant and valuable to the organization. Question 15. The senior management within an organization promotes a servant leadership approach and encourages project teams to be self-organizing. What impact would this cultural aspect likely have on the project management approach? A. Increased need for detailed top-down instructions. B. Greater adoption of adaptive, agile methodologies. C. More rigid adherence to traditional predictive life cycles. D. Reduced emphasis on team collaboration. Answer: B. Greater adoption of adaptive, agile methodologies. A culture that embraces servant leadership and encourages self-organizing teams is highly conducive to adaptive or agile project management methodologies. These approaches thrive on empowered teams, iterative development, and flexibility, which align perfectly with a less hierarchical, more supportive leadership style. For example, a Scrum team would flourish in such an environment due to its emphasis on autonomy and continuous improvement. Question 16. During a project's execution phase, the project manager learns that a key supplier has gone out of business, requiring a new supplier to be found quickly. This unforeseen event is primarily a risk stemming from which aspect of the business environment? A. Legal factors. B. Social factors. C. Market conditions. D. Technological advancements. Answer: C. Market conditions. The availability and stability of suppliers, along with general supply and demand dynamics, are part of the broader market conditions within the business environment. A key supplier going out of business is an external market-related risk that can severely impact project procurement and schedule. Project managers should continuously monitor market trends to anticipate and mitigate such disruptions. Question 17. The project sponsor communicates that a critical success factor for the project is ensuring the final product receives high adoption rates from end users. This highlights the importance of what aspect of the business environment? A. Adherence to internal policies. B. Focus on organizational structure. C. Value realization and benefit delivery. D. Compliance with external regulations. Answer: C. Value realization and benefit delivery. High adoption rates from end users are a direct indicator of whether the project's outputs are translating into the intended business benefits and delivering value to the organization. The sponsor's emphasis underscores that the project's success is not just about completing deliverables but about achieving the desired outcomes and realizing the value promised in the business case. Project managers must align their efforts with these ultimate value goals. Question 18. A project team is developing a new software system. Due to rapid changes in computing power and data storage capabilities, the project manager anticipates frequent technology updates during the project lifecycle. This influences the project primarily through which type of enterprise environmental factor? A. Sociocultural influences. B. Government and industry standards. C. Organizational culture. D. Global technological advancements. Answer: D. Global technological advancements. Rapid changes in computing power and data storage are clear examples of global technological advancements that act as enterprise environmental factors. These external forces are beyond the project's control but significantly influence how the project is planned and executed, often requiring adaptive approaches or continuous technological monitoring. Project managers must stay aware of such trends to ensure their solutions remain competitive and viable. Question 19. Which of the following is considered an output of the Develop Project Charter process that directly reflects the project's link to the business environment? A. Project Management Plan. B. Benefits Management Plan. C. Project Charter. D. Assumption Log. Answer: C. Project Charter. The Project Charter is the document that formally authorizes the existence of a project and provides the project manager with the authority to apply organizational resources to project activities. Crucially, it links the project to the organization's strategic objectives and business needs, serving as the foundational document that connects the project to the broader business environment. The charter essentially justifies the project's inception by outlining its purpose and expected outcomes. Question 20. An organization decides to undertake a project primarily because a competitor recently launched a similar, highly successful product. This decision is largely driven by which external business environment factor? A. Technological advancements. B. Market conditions. C. Political climate. D. Legal regulations. Answer: B. Market conditions. A competitor's actions and the success of a similar product are direct indicators of market conditions, including competitive pressures and market demand. The decision to launch a new project in response is a strategic move influenced by the competitive landscape, which is a key aspect of the external business environment. Understanding market dynamics is crucial for strategic project selection. Question 21. A project manager is working in an organization that has a centralized project management office, PMO, which strictly enforces project management methodologies and templates. This PMO primarily acts as what for the project? A. An external stakeholder. B. An enterprise environmental factor. C. An organizational process asset. D. A project governance framework. Answer: D. A project governance framework. While a PMO utilizes organizational process assets and is influenced by enterprise environmental factors, its role in strictly enforcing methodologies and templates and overseeing projects falls under the umbrella of project governance. Project governance provides the framework for how projects are directed, managed, and controlled within the organization, including oversight and decision-making structures. It defines the rules and processes that ensure projects align with organizational objectives. Question 22. When conducting stakeholder analysis, a project manager identifies a powerful regulatory body that has the authority to approve or reject the project's final deliverable. This regulatory body represents what to the project? A. An internal stakeholder. B. A key external stakeholder. C. A functional manager. D. An internal process asset. Answer: B. A key external stakeholder. A regulatory body that can approve or reject a project's deliverable is an external entity with significant power and interest in the project's outcome. They are a critical external stakeholder whose requirements and expectations must be actively managed to ensure project success. Failing to engage and satisfy such stakeholders can lead to project failure or significant delays. Question 23. The senior management team mandates that all new projects must contribute directly to the organization's goal of achieving a 15% reduction in carbon emissions within 5 years. This strategic objective serves as what for the project? A. A project constraint. B. A project assumption. C. A project objective tied to organizational strategy. D. A project risk. Answer: C. A project objective tied to organizational strategy. When senior management sets a goal like reducing carbon emissions that a project must contribute to, it transforms into a specific project objective directly linked to the organization's overarching strategic direction. This ensures that the project's purpose and deliverables are aligned with the higher-level goals and values of the organization. Such strategic alignment is crucial for demonstrating business value and securing ongoing support. Question 24. A project manager discovers that the current economic recession is causing a significant decline in consumer spending, potentially impacting the project's revenue projections. This scenario primarily influences the project's A. Scope management. B. Quality management. C. Benefits realization. D. Resource availability. Answer: C. Benefits realization. A decline in consumer spending, influenced by an economic recession, directly impacts the projected revenue, which is a key component of the project's anticipated benefits. If the project aims to generate revenue, reduced consumer spending threatens the realization of those financial benefits. This highlights how external economic factors can jeopardize the very reason a project was initiated. Question 25. An organization encourages continuous learning and allocates specific budget for professional development and training for its project managers. This practice is an example of how the organization's internal environment supports A. External compliance. B. Project manager competency development. C. Strict adherence to traditional methods. D. Short-term project goals only. Answer: B. Project manager competency development. Allocating budget for professional development and training directly supports the growth and improvement of its project manager's skills and knowledge. This practice demonstrates an organizational culture that values continuous learning and investing in its human capital, which in turn enhances project success by ensuring project managers are equipped with the latest competencies. It is an internal organizational practice that fosters a stronger project management capability.